Hey guys, it's Dr. Brown with Kubo Math here in Tarlac City, Philippines, and we have pre-calculus algebra. So some pre-cal going on, and we have one problem, but we're going to look for different things. We're trying to find the coordinates of the center of two circles and the radius of each of those circles, the equation of the circles given for each. And then we're going to evaluate if in fact they're tangent to each other, and if so, what is that tangent point's coordinates? Whoa, okay, let's get after it. Okay, you know the basic equation for a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, so with that in mind, let's look at this first equation. Well, I have an x squared. I don't have an h. Oh, what if h is 0? X minus 0 squared plus y, and I don't have a k, y minus 0 squared equals r. Well, to get 4, I'd have to have 2. So this would give me that equation. So it's telling me then that circle has a center of 0, 0, because this is h and that is k. So this is the center point of that circle is at 0, 0. And it has a radius of 2. 2 squared would give me the 4. So this circle, I'm going to attempt to draw a circle. We'll see how this works out. Don't laugh, I'll hear you. Okay, here we go. We got it going. 2, that's not too bad, a little flat on the bottom there. Okay, that's a circle with a radius of 2. R equals 2. Okay, I've got one of them done because I've got the coordinates of that one and its radius. What about this other guy? Well, let's see. Let's erase this. We'll use that same formula. I've got x minus h. X minus something squared plus y minus something and all of that squared, and that equals r squared. Well, I can see 3 squared would give me 9, so I can immediately see that r is 3. Okay, in order to get a positive 4, I've got x minus something. Well, that would have to be a negative 4. If a minus a negative is plus a positive. So it's telling me then that coordinate of that other circle is out here at negative 4 for the x value, and then y minus 3, so no difference there, y minus a positive, so that's a positive 3. So the coordinates of that circle, it would be, I'll just write it here, negative 4, 3. So let's go out 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's go up 1, 2, 3. Somewhere about right there. Okay. That is the point negative 4, 3. But that doesn't tell me anything. Well, I have the radius, don't I? Radius is 3. How do I make certain they're tangent or not? What do I do? Hey, got an idea here. What if I calculate the distance from that center point out to that point? We know how to do that. If that distance is 5, 5 minus 2 is 3, and it would tell me, since this radius I know is 3, r equals 3, then I would know those two circles are tangent right there. And if that's the case, we've got to do number 2 here and find the coordinates of that spot. Now you probably already have assumed that since I wrote number 2 up there that they are tangent, but let's make certain. Okay. Alright, so the distance, we could say D, this distance, equals the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Square root of that sum. Let me call, let's see, we'll call this x sub 2, this x sub 1, this y sub 2, and this y sub 1. Alright, square root x sub 2, which is negative 4, minus x sub 1, which is 0, all of that squared, plus y sub 2, which is 3, minus y sub 1, which is 0, that squared, and the square root of that. Well, negative 4 minus 0 is negative 4. Negative 4 squared is 16, plus 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9, 25. Square root of 25, hey, is 5. So that distance equals 5. So if the whole thing is 5, minus 2 gives me 3, and that's what that radius was. So it tells me there's a circle around here that's tangent right there. I won't attempt to draw that circle. Okay, now, all right. Well, we got 1A and B. If we don't get C or number 2, at least we got that far. But we can do it. All right, let's think about this. All right, what do we know? What we're saying is we're trying to figure out that point right there. If I knew that angle right there, I've got one side, so if I knew the angle, I could calculate the x and y. Well, look at this guy. I can calculate that angle because I know this side, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's 4 units. Now I know it's a negative 4, but we're just looking at distance here. So that's 4 units. This is 3 units. Hey, here we are. We've got a 4 and a 3. What would that angle be? I could take what's given, now we could do the 5, except I guess we were given that also. We've just derived it. But this was the actual coordinates right out of the equation. So I'm going to use this. I'll say tangent of that angle is the opposite over adjacent. Let me clear out a spot. Let's do it over here. We'll do it right here. All right, tangent of alpha is opposite over adjacent. And that equals 3 over 4. So alpha equals tangent inverse of 3 over 4. So that angle then is 36.9 degrees. So alpha equals 36.9 degrees. Yes, I did that earlier. You'll notice hanging right over here is alpha. Alright, so that angle is 36.9 degrees. Well, let's blow us up a triangle here. So we have 36.9 degrees. And I have a radius of 2. So if I could figure out the x component and the y, that would give me then the coordinates of that spot. Because we're sitting here at 0, 0. So here I've got an adjacent side and I've got an opposite side. I guess I should put a P there. ADJ and OP. All right, so cosine of 36.9 degrees equals adjacent divided by 2. So 2 cosine 36.9 degrees equals the adjacent side. So 36 point I don't have my glasses on. 36 point, actually it was 0.89 cosine of that times 2 is 1.6. So that adjacent side is 1.6. Okay, now if I'm looking for, trying to solve for that side, the sine of 36.9 degrees equals the opposite over hypotenuse, which is 2. So 2 times sine 36.9 degrees equals the opposite side. So 36 sine 2 times 1.2. I should have put my glasses on to do these. But what does that tell me? The x out here is minus 1.6, because now we're looking for the specific coordinate, and the y is 1.2. So that would be that point right there, minus 1.6. It's a bad looking minus, isn't it? Minus 1.6 and a positive 1.2. So what does that look like here? Yeah, I'm just a little above 1. And, well, kind of close to 1.6. All right, we did it. Trig, I would highly encourage you, really get comfortable doing trig. I mean, you need sine, cosine, tangent, the inverse of each one of those, the law of sines, the law of cosines. Those are the 8 major things you need to know. Of course, there's others, but those are the major ones you'll use over and over and over again. Because these should be just a matter of whipping those out. And they will over time, okay? Keep working at them. All right, good problem. And keep studying. Hey, well, again, why are we doing this? We're doing this so that together we can build a better tomorrow and do that through math, okay? Let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I was working as a diesel mechanic, and I was on call, so I would end up having to work. You know, I went to school 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. Then I had to rush over to my job, try to eat something really quick, get in there and work. I worked till just before midnight every night. I did my homework from midnight on. Sometimes I'm on call, so I'd have to go out and do service calls. And there was one instant where I ended up working right up until the time it was school. So I get to school, and I'm still in my greasy work uniform. Well, I'm older than the other kids. I was a grown man with 3 children. And, you know, the kids, oh, this guy smells like diesel fuel and oil, and I'm greasy. And the teacher asked me, said, Steve, did you get your homework? Yes, sir. He's looking at me, he said, have you been asleep? I said, no, I've worked all day. You know, went to school all day yesterday, worked all night. Then I did my homework, and about the time I finished it, I had a service call, had to go out, go to work, worked all night up until just now. I mean, I just barely made it to school. And so he looked at this kid and he said, did you get your homework? And he said, oh, no. And the teacher said, didn't I see you at the basketball game last night? Yes, and you didn't get your homework. This guy got his homework, worked all day, and he said, Steve, what are you going to do after school today? I said, well, I have to go back to work. no sleep, 2 days. So the kid after school asked me, he said, how is it you can do that? And I said, well, this may sound like a silly question, but who puts milk in your refrigerator? He said, my parents do. I said, well, there's your problem. I said, until you're the one that's responsible for whether you starve or you don't starve, or your children starve or don't, it adds a whole new level of seriousness to being dedicated to do better. Okay, I was serious about it because school, to me, was a way to get a better job. It was a way to feed my family with regularity instead of having to skip a meal. It was serious. It's serious for you too. We're talking about gaining skills so that you can do better. That's important. It's important for your family that you do that. All of my children have college educations now, have great jobs, and I'd like to think that my dedication played a small part in that. If nothing else, it taught them how to work hard and how to be dedicated and make it happen. Okay? That's why we're doing this. It's not for YouTube likes and I want you to read this, study this, and learn this so that you can be better tomorrow than you are today. That's our goal, okay? All right, enough of that. I'll get off my soapbox now. And we want it to be fun. Let's have fun. Learning can be fun because it leads you to a better tomorrow. It really does. Okay, that's all for now, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.